Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Well, it is Lions Talk with Smokin' Jeremy B. Here I am, ready to bring you the news from throughout the week and what's actually news, not the clickbait stuff. Oh. Do you want on, Ken? But give me a thumbs up. Let me change the view.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I know there's not much lion stuff, and I'm sure, I know.
Oh, I got plenty to talk about.
I know you didn't. I didn't hear you chime in on this whole Bears thing, but it affects you guys too.
I think it's actually a good move for both because it's a little closer to Detroit and the fans here in Michigan to get there. You don't have to drive through that extra half hour to 45 minutes of Chicago traffic just to get to Soldier Field. Michael Edwards acknowledges you here. I shared your show on my Twitter page as well to gain more views, to drive more traffic towards YouTube.
The thing with because the NFL, they asked the Colts, because obviously being in the same state, and the Colts like, hey, go do great things. We wish you all the best. And I was thinking, but what about? I thought in the back of it, this affects the Lions because it moves us closer to Detroit, not by much, but a little bit.
Technically, it cuts out an hour and a half of drive time for people coming out of Michigan. If you want to be real about it, because you don't have to go through all that stuff to get through the turnpike and everything else to get to Soldier Field. And if you go the long way, it's even longer to avoid the turnpike. You have ways to get there, but it's slower.
Because Michigan City, a lot of people live in Michigan City, which is right there on the border of Michigan, Indiana. They live in Michigan City. They work in Chicago. They're Bears fans. They're right across the lake. All their TV and radio is Chicago. It definitely makes it easier for those Michigan fans to go to games. It might push the Bears fan base a little bit north into Michigan a little bit more because they'll be closer
to the St. Joseph, Niles, Grand Rapids, Holland, Benton Harbor, those type of places. You'd gain fans from there. Because there's probably already fans from there, but they don't go to games because they don't want to deal with the traffic.
Well, and there's always that town where you get, when you're in between two franchises, you get those towns where like people are like house divided. It pushes that line a little bit north, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it'd be easier to go. It's easier to go to games if you're a Lions fan to come down to go see a Bears game. It makes it a lot easier.
And for now, because you only had 1 year of success, your ticket prices won't go up as much as what the Lions did the last 2 years yet. You have another year before that increase happens. You need another year of that type of success because if you actually look, it's in the NFL rules. It's in the bylines. If you have 2 successful years, you will have a price increase. It's set by the NFL.
The Bears did raise their ticket prices 15% for next year already.
Wow, they didn't even give you guys a year break.
Yeah. The taxes in Illinois are ridiculous. And we spent the whole last hour talking about this. And it's funny because they set the bar so low for the states, right? We own the land. We're going to keep the whole stadium. All we need is the property tax rate to be the same as the other stadiums in Illinois and do infrastructure. And the state said, read our middle fingers. And here Indiana is going, we're going to do infrastructure. We're going to give you that tax number. we're going to give you $2 billion to build a stadium. We're going to own it, but you're going to run it, and you're going to end up owning it because it's a rent-to-own kind of scenario. But now you don't have to put up $3 billion up front. Now you only have to put up $1 billion. And oh, by the way, we'll probably end up building a new airport, so they're going to have to fly in the Midway or O'Hare. Now we're going to give you. There's all these areas you can build all these new subdivisions for your players and staff to move to. And oh, by the way, here's where your new house hall can be located at. I mean,
they're being accommodating, and that new rule also clears up like any new. And it was geared toward Chicago, but let's face it, it's a business ruling. It covers all businesses moving into the Indiana across the board. It just makes it way better for Chicago because they get, 3 years, no state income tax if they move there or something like that? That SB 27?
Something like that. Illinois is going to lose. They're going to lose their rights. They're losing jock tax. They're losing. I had the numbers last year. The Bears made over in 24. They had almost $700 million. It was almost $1 billion in revenue just from the Bears organization between player, taxes off player dollars. The revenue they made. The Bears made about $1 billion. We're worth about $1 billion in taxable revenue, and then you get all the auxiliary revenue, right? They're going to lose all that, and then the players are going to move out of the state, so they're not going to lose income taxes. The people who work for the Bears are going to move to Indiana. The Indiana is going to take that whole area is going to explode. I wouldn't be surprised if a new airport is built to accommodate that as well, so teams and everyone can fly in and out of there instead of having to fly into Illinois. So now, granted, it's not a lot of money, but it's money, and it's going to draw more tourism to that part. And they're going to lose tourism dollars in Illinois. It's stupid. And for the Lions and the Colts, does it affect your fan base? The Lions and Colts, yeah, about that much. It might make those rivalries even better than they already are. For the Colts, it almost isn't a rivalry. Now it's going to be more of a rivalry because it's an in-state thing. But now you're putting a closer distance with the line. Because look at the Bears-Packers is always going to be Bears-Packers. But now Bears-Lions takes on even a little bit more significance with them being so much closer.
They would be they already were, but then they would be the easiest traveled to team for Lions fans, unless you're in the UP. Then that would still be Green Bay. That's it.
If you're in the UP, you're a Packers or you're a Vikings fan. Let's be real.
No, there is plenty of Lions fans up there. Trust me.
But the majority of people in the UP are Packers or Vikings fans because honestly, those are teams that are closer to them in their coverage area.
Okay. Out of the 16 podcasters that are in the UP, 8 are Lions podcasts, 4 are Packers, 4 are Vikings. I'm just saying, you say this, but I'm going to show you.
Regionally, it makes sense that most people who live in the UP would be Packers or Vikings because they're closer to those stadiums, closer to the TV stations, the radio stations that cover it. I can still state pride. There'd be a lot of Lions fans because of that. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm just saying, there's a lot more of the influence from the other two teams there, obviously, than the lower peninsula of Michigan. Yeah, dude, Chicago. Indiana's gonna be a lot cheaper.
Okay, so now I do need to get back to Lions news, anyways.
But I just want to touch base and see what you thought about all that.
I think it's a great move. Now, are you going to be the Bears still? We don't know. Are you?
No, they will. And they will be the Chicago Bears.
I see the Hammond Grizzlies in your future.
Nope.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, per NFL rules, though, they're within a mile radius of the city limits to still be called the Chicago Bears, and they're in the Chicago metropolitan area still technically.
I think they should drop the Chicago altogether because of how. Look at that! 100%.
Yeah, they'll keep everything. They'll keep the name. I mean, it's just sad that you have one of the marquee franchises in the NFL is going to leave their home state because the state is too stupid to give them the easiest of stadium asks I think that's ever been asked for a stadium built.
So last year the Lions picked, what was it, 22nd, 23rd, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay. So the draft classes were ranked last year. Do you know where Detroit's ranked?
No,
16th.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't looked at any of those rankings
So
yet.
I just happened to look it up because this is the actual news that came out this week. I wanted to get that out there to the fans because everybody says, "Oh, this was a bad draft." They actually ranked at least 6 spots higher than they drafted. I think we actually drafted closer to 27th, if I remember right.
I'm
'Cause we
sure
did
the Bears did pretty well in their
you
draft
guys
class
did you had a high draft pick.
because I'm a
Now,
non-guy.
Al, you had some ones in between that were good. It was overall it was a good draft class. I know that you got, but for us to be picking in the back half because we made the playoffs, had a bad year and still rank in the middle of the league, which is where we finished, that should be what you expected out of the draft class. And a lot of people said this draft class was
Hey, I just
underwhelming.
looked it up. I just looked it up before I leave. I'll give you this little zinger, I guess. The Bears got an A plus, ranked best in the league for their draft class. Between
Congratulations.
Colston Loveland, Mr. Burden, and Kyle Monangai specifically. And then you still had Ozzie Trapillo, who started most of the year as well until the injury took him out. So yeah, the Bears did well in the
So we had two guys, one that we drafted that was injured, that I said that was a mistake when we drafted him on my draft show. He never played all season. So you can hold that against the GM, but you can't really hold it against the draft class because that's not performance based. You know what I'm saying? Because performance based is what they're talking about. But the fact that all first all of our top 3 picks, days 1 and 2, they played, and some of them actually started. Tate Ratledge started all year at guard, didn't miss a game. Tyleik Williams started half the season until Aleem McNeil came back, and then still provided an additional 15% of the snap count.
Yeah, you guys, I talked a little bit about. I'm still too early for the draft, but I think you guys are going to be looking at a lot of offensive linemen this year.
I think
We
that's
need
what
to
we're
really.
doing. We only got 2 picks in day 1 and day 2, and I think that's what they're both going to be. But I think offensive center will be second round because I don't see a first round graded offensive center.
I mean, I think it's safe to say the Bears are now entering their window. How When you look at windows, I think the entire NFC North is in the window right now, so to speak. The window. Um, where do you think the Lions are in terms of their window? Are they midway through it, on the back end of it, or are they still climbing?
I think they're right at the midway point because we have seen this before where a team will take a step back after they got good for a second and then rebound. We've seen this in this division. So as long as they get who's right on the offensive line and fix the secondary, we're going to have to address safety. Safety is a bigger need than a lot of people want to admit. I personally would bring back Iffy because if Kirby's not 100% to start the year, he played the position, but Kirby was hurt last time, played it at a high level. That way you've got somebody there. And I draft one just in case Branch can't even come back this year. He got hurt in December.
I would say window wise, like the Bears are just entering. You
Right.
guys, like you said, right around the midway point. I think the Vikings are a little hard. I think they're somewhere in the same area you are.
I think they're
To
on the downswing of that window.
yeah, I might agree with that. And the Packers, I don't know where to put them.
They peaked when they had Cousins. They got really good with Darnold, and that was their midway point.
Yeah,
They that window. I'm not saying it's shut, but
no,
it went
it's closing.
wide open to narrow.
And I don't even know where I put the Packers because I think they artificially injected some life into it last year with the trade. But I don't know where I put them. I don't know if they're. I don't know where they're at, but they're in the window.
RBF.
Yeah. They might be locking. You might be right, Fred. They might be locking the basement on the window. But I mean, considering the basement still had 9 wins this year.
Yeah, and second place had 9 wins. Let's not sugarcoat it.
No, yeah, it's a half game.
We had it was the half game. It was the tie that was the difference maker.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I just want to pop in real quick because I have some things I have to do here to get this other house sold. But I wanted to get your input on the possible Bears moving closer to Detroit. And what we should know within a week. We should know because the Bears put a deadline of when the Indiana State legislative gets out of session, which is next Friday. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I can't do a draft, man. I'm not doing drafts yet, Fred. After free agency, I'll do a draft. How's that? I'll come on and do a bad draft. My draft will be bad. I already know it'll be bad. I can't draft. That's why I'm not a GM. They would never make JB and I a GM. You know why? Because we'd have the worst draft.
No,
They
you
can
know,
look good, but they'd be bad.
you know what the funny thing is we get told all the time when we're doing this stuff live, and we do. You do at least one a year on your live. I know you do because you get tired of it. You say, "Finally, I'll do it."
Yeah.
But I get told by fans, "Wow, you do a realistic draft." This is the thing. I think the Packers window might even be more closed than the Vikings with all the coaching turnover they had. You got to look because they had just as much coaching turnover as we had last year.
Yeah, when it comes to the draft, like last year I did some drafts early and it was all linemen, and of course our first two picks weren't even, they were skill positions. I didn't have us taking a receiver at all last year. I had us taking a running back. I might actually got Monangai right, maybe I'm not sure. But I had the tight end position right, just the wrong player. So yeah, I'll do a draft eventually. I have to see more what the Bears' needs are going to be because right now I don't know what the needs are. And I can say that because I don't know what we're going to do in free agency yet, who we're going to re-sign, who we're going to extend, who's going to become a cap casualty, or if there's going to be a restructure, or if there's going to be a monster trade for like a Max Crosby kind of deal made. That's why I'm hesitant to do a draft. I want to see what the needs are more first. And as you guys all know, I don't watch college football. So I'm really looking at based on numbers versus watching guys play.
Okay. So my next, yep, it was good to see you, Ken. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it.
I'll see you soon, brother.
I wanted to talk about it yesterday, but you guys weren't on.
Yeah, I'm sorry about yesterday. And I'm sorry I didn't have the show set up for you yesterday for Rumble. So my sleep schedule was kind of screwy. I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. I swear I didn't fall asleep like 6:37 a.m. So I blew right through all the alarms and everything. And it was a good thing. I reset my sleep schedule. So this morning I woke up at like 8:30, a half hour before the alarm, and now things are good again. So
okay, good. Well, I wish you well with selling the house. But that means you move everything again, right?
What now?
Does that mean you got to move again?
No. This is the house I lived in before that we moved out of a year ago. We finally.
Okay. I was like,
our first real estate agent had it for 7 months, 0 offers. Our new real estate agent, within 2 weeks, we had 3, and we're under contract right now. We have 2 small items from the inspection to fix, and then we're just waiting to close. Thank God. So, but yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good show, JB.
Yep, thank you. Have a good one, sir.
Yep.
There. It's at the bottom, Ken. There we go. Because we've all done it. Close the show out on somebody. But yes, our draft class ranked 16th in the league last year. Considering we picked after losing in the divisional round, which is past the wild card round, that means we weren't in the 20s. We were somewhere between 21 and 24. I think that's a great grade considering where we finished the season. The Lions right now are 9.93 over the 2026 cap. Cuts are coming and also restructures. 3 veterans are expected to let go to create space, but they already have. 2 of them are going to be let go already. We know that, and that's Alex Anzalone and DJ Reader, because all it is a void contract. It doesn't save a dime. So NFL insider Daniel Jeremiah says Detroit is doing a lot of homework on free agent offensive tackles in the draft, hinting the team may pivot from expected priorities. This could signal preparing for life after Taylor Decker, adding a competition at swing tackle, and a bigger philosophical shift than anticipated on offense. And last but not least, injury update. Marcus Davenport's 2025 season was derailed by a shoulder and pec injuries, limiting him to 8 games and 1 sack. His future in Detroit remains uncertain. Fire him into the sun. Davenport does not need to be on this roster. And anyone that complains when you got a third-round pick getting 6 touchdowns over a first-round pick that had none, you're insane. Did it really hurt us trading up for him? I don't think so. I mean, 2 catches were in meaningless games. Oh, boy. But he had, in his first 4 games, I think he had 3 catches with one hand. We didn't see him make a two-handed catch until I think week 5 or 6. We didn't know he had 2 hands. Yes, I did. And I would take him at 50 every time because if you look at where he's ranked at 75 by ESPN, and we're about that point. I covered all the major news, other than the fact, Rod Wood's retiring, where they're looking for his replacement. They were looking for his replacement at CEO. The president of football operations is on this team already. They're going to promote Chris Spielman into that role. The CEO primarily handles all of the functions outside of football, all of the fundraisers, scheduling the other one. Friday Max at the tie us over until Monday. Yes, sir, because Saturday's a baseball show. So here we go. It's time. Thank you. I just looked at what was available and did it that way. Let's roll. Francis Mawagawa is there. I don't think there's going to be a trade hour this one might. Okay. We move back one space. We get next year's first. I'm going to accept it because I don't like that one. Oh, wait, I have to get through to 118. Screw it. The guy I said, the only true left tackle in this draft, he's still here. He's a Lion. See, because if you do this, I thought I picked ESPN. That's weird. He falls down that far in one day. Oh, you went to pick before me. Oh, that kills. Dave Jacobs is gone, but here's a guy. Let's do Kearse County. Yeah, here's a guy. No, Danny Dennis Sutton. If he's here at 118, he's a no-brainer. I am doubling down at linebacker because the one plays safety. And that'll leave me with 2 picks. And I'm going to go offense with those. I want to see something. Did he get picked? Yeah, he's gone. I'm not waiting till the 7th round to get him. This was the no frills, no trades. Let's just draft. And I think it turned out pretty darn good. I want to see him used more. He wasn't targeted enough when he was on the field. He held 18% of the snaps. He was targeted less than 15% of the time. The only one I'm worried about, and I want you to understand why I'm worried about it. It's Kirby Joseph. Brian Branch will be back. It's just a question of when. Kirby Joseph, who elected instead of getting the repair on that cartilage that will not heal itself, has decided to go with acupuncture. And anybody who's dealt with acupuncture knows one slip of the needle and you're paralyzed no matter what it is. That scares the hell out of me that he's risking his entire career for that. So we're going to look at both drafts. The one from yesterday, which was mock draft 55, to today's. Yesterday, I ended up with Logan Jones, Max Ahinacor, Gabe Jacobs, Kalen Kilgore, Jacob Rodriguez, Dante Corleone, Damani Jackson, Trey Zune, Ephesians Prysa, Riley Nowakowski, Jack Strand, and next year's Jacksonville's second-round pick. And the reason why is they actually traded me like 48, but I knew I could get Logan Jones at 50, so I traded back again and garnered more picks. So even though it's only 11 picks, it's technically 12 because I bolstered the 2027 draft. Today was just straight up, let's pick them where they fall because the best left tackle in the draft fell to us. Logan Jones. I don't care if anybody says he's rich. I think after the combine, he's a second-round pick all day. King SJ. I'll go over the news one more time before I sign off. That way you can hear it all. I'm going to go through it. Right, he can paralyze that leg. That's what I'm saying. I understand it was his knee. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You can paralyze, you can numb it, make it dead from the knee down. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I didn't misspeak. I know what I meant. Francis Mauagawa at 17, 50 at center, Danny Dennis Sutton, edge at 118, Deshaun Singleton at safety, Bruce Bocher and Kendall Daniels, linebackers, the one out of Oregon, the one out of Oklahoma. I think both of them are going to go higher than that after the combine. We'll see next week. Jack Strand out of MSU Moorhead, who is not an invite to the combine, but I think anywhere in the 6th and 7th round, if you draft him, you're getting a quality backup to develop to possibly be a starter later in his career. And Chip Trayanum, the running back out of Toledo. And anybody who says, 6-rounders don't make it, look at Tom Brady. Basically, the Lions draft class ranked 16th in the league last year, King SJ. The Lions are approximately $10 million over the cap. Rod Wood is retiring as team president and CEO. I think the team president will be Chris Spielman, and they're going to hire a new CEO. Daniel Jeremiah is saying that we're doing a lot of homework on free agent and draft tackles. The team may pivot from expected priorities. I don't know how they think it's a pivot. Brad told us this in the presser. Hey, Nick Burton, good to see you. Don't forget to hit the like on whatever platform you're watching this on. I'm not trying to argue with people. I'm just sick of people that think I say one thing and mean something, and that's not what I meant. You can paralyze your leg messing around with the nerves in the knee. Yeah, I'm just doing a quick recap for you. So, preparing for life after Taylor Decker, adding competition at swing tackle. A bigger philosophical shift than anticipated. And Marcus Davenport should be fired into the sun and retire. I like that draft. I don't think we get Lindenbaum. That's why I'm taking a center in the 2nd round. If Logan Jones ain't available, I'm taking the next best one in Parker's Brailsworth. If he's not available, I'm taking Jake Slaughter. That's my 2nd round shot because I don't think we're getting Linderbaum. I think we're going to end up with somebody much less. Linderbaum came out of the same school that Logan Jones came out of. Logan Jones was a defensive tackle that practiced across from him and was converted to safety after he graduated. So he learned how to get past the best to become the best, because he won a Remington Award on the best NCAA offensive line in college. I'm not holding my breath, because I already heard that if he doesn't get signed with the Ravens, he wants to go to the Giants, which makes John Jingle Heimerschmidt a guard. Shaking my head, I overlooked the OC. It's hard to see you on the phone. I get you. Yeah, the phone view is nice, and I love it for the fans. But there we go. Yeah, I definitely draft centers every year, and I'm always going to take them in the second round, because I think tackle and the biggest in center are the biggest needs this draft. Safety depth is, and what's nice about Kendall Daniels is, yep, no problem. I said he had acupuncture on his knee. It could paralyze it. That's what I was trying to say. And everybody hears paralyzed and they think, oh no, it's not on his back. No, on his knee. I said, instead of surgery on his knee, he decided to get acupuncture on it. And that bothers me that he's doing this. He's risking his entire NFL career on something that may or may not work. He is expected to be at off-season training camp and get tested and everything and go through that. But what if it doesn't work? The herniated disc with the fluids drained off of Sam Laporta's back, I trust that he'll be back for an off-season training camp before I trust Kirby Joseph. And your updated medal count. Lions currently hold second place in the Olympics now after winning in USA women's hockey by beating Canada in overtime. How you doing, Zach? Welcome to the show. I just did a quick recap. I also did a mock draft. I've been doing it ever since the Rams game, because I knew we weren't making the playoffs. It had nothing to do with no faith in the team. It had to do with the fact that it seemed like the NFL didn't want us there. And I'll leave it at that. But I did my 56 mock draft today. This is what I ended up with. Mawagawa fell to 17. Logan Jones at 50. Danny Dennis Sutton Edge out of Penn State at 118. Deshaun Singleton at 155. Bruce Bocher out of Oregon, linebacker. Kendall Daniels, the linebacker / safety that they called the cheetah position at Oklahoma. Look up Ben Venable's defense there, and you'll see. Jack Strand, backup quarterback, graduating out of MSU Moorhead, set records for passing there. And Chip Trayanum, I call him the wrecking back. He's 5'11", 230, expected to run around a 4.5 40. Be a good replacement for the future of a power back. Right. If he actually would have done it as soon as we put him on the IR, he'd have been back by August. So I worry about. One of the doctors was saying that if they are talking they didn't do stem cell treatment, Zach J. Kirby Joseph decided to go with acupuncture on his knee. And acupuncture, even though it's been studied for centuries, I don't know if he's going to one of the old school people or the new people that learned it new or whatever. One slip of the needle can numb him from the knee down and paralyze his leg and ruin his career. That's what I was getting at. And I think it's stupid he went that route. I hope I make that clear. I don't understand why it's a knee cartilage that cannot heal itself. And there's been reports that may not work. His cartilage The cartilage that we're talking about, it's unrepairable through surgery. Unrepairable on its own. It will not repair itself. It requires either surgery or treatment, and he elected to go with acupuncture, and I think that's bad. It's not a degenerative. It's one of those cartilage that just, if it wears out, it wears out. And there's people who've had the surgery. The surgery has been done 26 times in the NFL, and it was successful 18 times. So it has a 75% hit rate. So I don't get it. I would have elected for the surgery myself with that high of success. And that's going back as far as 2010 was the first time I heard of it being done. Because I did my research too. 18 people returned and had a successful career. At least extended their careers by 3 to 7 years. One of them is still playing in Kendall Fuller at a high level. So there is that. It's just the rehab. The rehab is the sketchy area. It could be as short as 6 months, or it could be as long as a year. They don't know. It depends on the grade of the surgery they have to do to repair that cartilage. It's cartilage, not a tendon, not a ligament. That's the problem. Cartilage doesn't repair itself. It's just like that boxer break from when I was 15 years old. It'll never heal itself. It'll re-break from time to time, but it's cartilage. It's not a bone that's broke there. And every time I re-break it, it becomes more pronounced and it sticks out more on the back of my hand. It's no different. There's nothing you can do about it. It's cartilage. It's not arthritis. It's not anything like that. It doesn't limit my movement. I can do everything anybody else can do with their hand. It's just something you learn to live with. Does it hurt? Hell yes. It hurts like the dickens. Especially at change of weather. I no longer am G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip. But I just love talking football. I love writing my articles about the Lions for the South Florida Tribune. And if you want to check those out, oh, it's gone. Ah, there they are. That's that right up there in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. This is my logo. Next week, I will be at the Combine checking out the prospects, hopefully getting a couple of interviews. So I don't know if I'm going to be going live all week. I may be asking Ken and Ken to stay live and just do live updates at night, because I want things to go well. I'd be able to use the interviews I get on the show. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. And one pride. Peace out, my friends.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.